Hey guys, welcome to my channel Life of Lev. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today we're going to be taking a look at the PS5 controller and all of its features, what we can come to expect with in-game experiences with the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback features on the PS5 controller. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It would help me out a lot, and now let's get into it. First, let's talk about the design of the controller. I really think that this controller looks amazing. I think in terms of design, it's leaps and bounds beyond what the previous generations of the PS controllers were. You can see that they completely changed the design. PS controllers had relatively the same design, just a few different minor changes and iterations over the years, but the PS5 controller has completely changed everything. It has changed its form factor and its grip factor. I love the two-tone design, and you can see this controller actually looks like it's got some armor on it. Really looks amazing. I also really love the blue LED lights that come out from the touchpad section of the controller. I think this is such a nice touch. It looks really sleek. It's not like the PS4 blue light that comes out from the back, which is actually really bright. Something to note is that the new PS5 controller is going to be called the DualSense controller, not the DualShock controller. You can see that Sony has really thought about this controller from the ground up. They really went all out in a different direction here, and I think it looks amazing. I really love the overall design of the PS5 and the PS5 controller. I know that Sony is really trying to incorporate a more immersive gameplay feel. We'll take a look at why they're going to be calling it the DualSense controller right after we go over the features. What do you guys think about the controller? Do you guys like the new design? Leave a comment below if you guys like it or don't like it, and if you don't like it, what don't you like about it? Now let's talk about the PS5 controller features. The new DualSense controller for the PS5 includes two really cool and important new features, which is the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers. Other features include a new USB-C port, motion sensor, built-in microphone and speaker, and the headset jack. Sony has also stated that they've paid close attention to both battery life and weight of the controller. They thought that these two things are things that they cannot compromise on, so even with adding the new features, they've really paid close attention to those details. Let's talk about how the adaptive triggers are going to work. The L2 and R2 buttons are going to have the adaptive triggers built in. Now think about a game where you're using a bow and arrow. And in that game, when you're just about to shoot an arrow, the longer you hold on to the bowstring, the more resistance you're going to get from those triggers. So that's just one in-game experience. Think about playing the new Gran Turismo 7, and you're shifting into different gears. Each gear is going to feel different. You're going to feel more resistance on those triggers. Think about a game where you're driving on different terrains. If you're driving on regular roads, the adaptive trigger is going to feel really different as opposed to when you're driving on rough terrain. There's going to be more tension on the adaptive triggers when you're driving in the rough terrain just because it's going to be harder for the vehicle to accelerate. Or how about using the adaptive triggers for different kinds of weapons? So if you're firing a regular pistol, the resistance on those triggers aren't going to be as heavy as, say, when you're firing an assault rifle. I can't wait to see how developers are going to be incorporating these adaptive triggers into their gameplay, showing us unique ways that they'll be using these adaptive triggers. Now let's talk about haptic feedback. Haptic feedback isn't going to be your regular old vibration that you're going to get just like the previous generations from all the other controllers. It's actually a very different feel altogether. Previously, all the controllers had a basic rumbling where they would just increase or decrease intensity. Haptic feedback is more than just creating higher and lower intensity. It's also giving variations in frequency on how you receive that feedback. So an example could be when you're playing Gran Turismo 7, Sony has stated that each of the tracks are going to feel different. You're going to get different kind of haptic feedback from each of the different tracks that you play on. With haptic feedback, you'll be able to feel physical edges, textures, and contours, giving you a more physical, immersive gameplay. Imagine playing Ghost of Tsushima on the PS5 and you're running through the blades of grass. Imagine being able to feel that on the controller. Or imagine the wind blowing across from you and being able to feel that on the controller. Based on how the developers use the frequency, I think these are just a few of the examples of how haptic feedback will be used on the controller. But again, I think this is going to give you a greater sense of immersive gameplay, and I cannot wait to see how developers use haptic feedback in their games for a more immersive gameplay. I think this is why the controller is now called DualSense. It's because the controller is really made to make you feel more immersed. That and the new technology with the 3D audio that Sony's really pushing out is really supposed to get all the users into games and feel really into the games that are being developed. What do you guys think about adaptive triggers and haptic feedback? How do you guys think that developers are going to be using these new features? I really have to give it up to Sony. It's got me really excited about buying the PS5, and I'm excited to see how developers are going to be using these new features so that it can create a more immersive gameplay. It just opens up the doors for so many more possibilities, and I'm super excited about that. Are you guys just as excited as I am to get your hands on the PS5 controller? Leave some comments below. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys really liked this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's gonna help me out a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Until next time, bye.